Out of the trial, tearing an entire family apart, a stepdaughter pushing her stepmom to confess to a killing to police, and now emotions are running very high as the mom, Amy Sensor, testified Monday. She broke down on the stand, and ABC's Lindsay Davis has all the latest on a dramatic day in court.
An aspiring pop singer testifying against her own stepmother, a former NFL star lashing out at the media.
Guys, why don't you guys get a life?
And now the woman at the center of this sensational fatal hit-and-run trial is speaking out for the first time. In between tears Monday, Amy Sensor, wife of former Viking player Joe Sensor, insisted that the object she hit last summer was not a person, telling the court, "I just never saw him. I didn't see him. It just couldn't have been me." When asked to describe what the feeling of the impact was like, she said, "I've never been in an accident, so I wasn't quite sure if I'd hit a pothole or one of those construction signs." Police say last August, Amy Sensor hit and killed 38-year-old chef Anason Panthavong as he filled his stalled car on an interstate ramp and then didn't stop.
She's saying she didn't realize she hit a human being, and that is contradicted by the physical evidence to the car, which shows substantial damage.
Sensor admits she did have part of a glass of wine that night, but insists she was not drunk. Instead, she says she was suffering from a headache, telling jurors she didn't even look at the damage to her SUV until the next morning. Asked if she saw blood on the car, she said, "What I recall seeing is something that looked like mud." But prosecutors don't buy her story, pointing out Sensor donated the clothes she was wearing that night to Goodwill, and arguing the only reason she even came forward at all is because her stepdaughter threatened to turn her in. Brittany Sensor, an aspiring singer who once did a music video featuring Bristol Palin's ex-fiancé Levi Johnston, testified she made the threat after the accident was linked to her family, saying she was worried people would think she had been driving.
If someone really didn't realize they hit a human being and then the next day found out that they had, most people would then report it. But here she doesn't report it for over a week, and that does show consciousness of guilt.
Amy Sensor says she went to a concert that night, but she couldn't prove it because she thinks the ticket was in the jeans that she gave away to Goodwill. When asked why her story has changed slightly since right after the accident, she said it's been a long time, and then immediately said it's been 251 days. She knew the exact amount of time.
Boy, she had a tough day on the stand. Okay, Lindsay, thanks very much.